Ladies and gentlemen, this is an article that came out on the Washington Post, January 15th, 2019. Boy, there are so many things happening up in the skies above us. And it just seems like the stories just keep coming and coming. And those of you that are on the eastern part of the United States, this will impact you. The polar vortex has fractured, and the eastern U.S. faces a punishing stretch of winter weather. Forecasts call for a very cold and stormy pattern just underway to peak in a few weeks. So, this was the polar vortex on December 18th, and now you can see three different patterns that it has broken into. So they're saying treacherous weather is ahead for all of us that are on the East Coast. The swirling winds, tens of thousands of feet in the sky above the Arctic, the dreaded polar vortex, broke apart into three parts to ring in 2019. So they're saying this literally happened in the very beginning of the year. Now, the eastern half of the United States is about to feel the consequences. Weather models project the onset of a severe and punishing winter weather pattern in just over 10 days, with extreme cold and heightened storminess. In fact, the transition to this harsh winter pattern has likely already begun. Before and during the vortex disruption, locations east of the Rockies bask in unusually mild weather for weeks. Washington witnessed 28 days of warmer than normal weather, and the first half of January ranked among the top 10 warmest on record in Minneapolis and Milwaukee. But the polar vortex split, which forecasters predicted in December, has likely triggered a transition towards a much more wintry pattern. And yes, I even see that. I see that where I am. Absolutely. Even though the vortex split around the start of the new year, it often takes weeks for the effects to become apparent in day-to-day weather. The vortex zips around the North Pole high in the stratosphere, about twice as high up as commercial aircraft fly. So its downward propagation through the atmosphere is a draw out process. Wow. I sure didn't want to see a worse winter coming. This past weekend storm, which dumped 10 inches of snow on both St. Louis and Washington, may have been one of the first indicators of the shift to harsher winter conditions. I think the winter storm this weekend was related to the vortex split. Judah Cohen, a researcher at atmospheric and environmental research in Boston and polar vortex expert. I think we're seeing the impacts already. After the vortex fractures, it can fundamentally alter the flow in the atmosphere, steering winds which blow from west to east, transporting mild air from the Pacific Ocean over to the continental US. Shift to a more north and south. Okay. So look like the north and southeast is probably going to be heavily impacted. Arctic air can be readily be drawn into the North America and Europe. Okay. And the first order impact is that you slow the west to the east flow and add more of a north south component, says Cohen. There's a much greater exchange of Arctic air that's moving south. A blast of a bitter Arctic air is forecast to plunge into the eastern U.S. late this week. And this weekend, the coldest of the winter so far in some areas. Another possible sign of the vortex disruption. By Sunday, temperatures are forecast to be about 10 to 25 degrees colder than normal in the central U.S. and parts of the East. Temperatures may plunge below zero in Kansas City on Sunday, where the AFC championship game between the Chiefs and the New England Patriots will be played. So you can see this whole area in the blue will be in the deep freeze. This will all be in the deep freeze, y'all. And you see that goes all the way up through Canada. So from Florida all the way up through Canada, and you can see, wow. Temperature difference from normal forecast on Sunday from American GSP model. Wow. Departure from normal temperature. But this cold snap may be just an appetizer. Computer models suggest the onset of persistent and acute cold may hold off between January 25th and 30th. In the meantime, temperatures may fluctuate wildly as this new harsh regime becomes established. Wow. The signal for an extended period of cold and potentially stormy weather is very strong, continuing well into February, says long-range forecasters. I think you can be very confident, Wintry said. Wintry said the European model system has been predicting this cold pattern for 6 straight weeks without exception, which is rare. There's something big driving the signal, and it's tied to the stratospheric warming. The American model system is in agreement with European in forecasting the initiation of a very cold pattern in about 2 weeks. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready, you know. And a lot of times when we have these bitter cold winters, we always have a piping hot summer that follows. So it is going to be very interesting, y'all. I'm not looking forward to this. I usually like the milder winters, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So for this to be coming, man, get ready, family. Get ready, because we are going to be in for the deep heat. We can't stop this from happening. But one thing I can say to you is prepare yourself now, because it's about to get worse. And I just don't want us to be caught off guard when this hits. And I know at the end of this week, we got a major storm coming that's supposed to dump a lot of snow on the northeastern part of the U.S. So, family, we're getting our warning now. So get ready for what's to come. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.